Welcome back. They've been cracking us up all during the show, even during the commercial break. So we know their performances at the Comedy Club of Jacksonville will be nothing short of a good time. Get out of here. Get out of here. You can see Kim Whitley and David Arnold's show, He Said, She Said, starting tonight through Sunday. So tell us. He said, she said. This normally it's a bad thing, but tell us about the show. How funny is it?
Well, definitely we're at the Jacksonville Comedy Club on Beach Boulevard.
Yeah, one show tonight, one show tomorrow, two shows on Saturday.
But what happens is I go up on stage, and then he goes up on stage separately, and then we come back
and perform together. Which nobody has done in like 50 years.
Yeah.
Like since
okay, that's awesome.
It's been,
Who came up with such an awesome rapport with one another.
Well, that's because I refused Kim's advances many years ago. And I said, let's stay professional, and I think we can turn this into something.
Don't cuss, don't cuss. You know I'm looking at you, right?
She said, don't cuss.
Because I feel it. I want to do it.
It's 3 p.m. live TV. We can't.
I know. I'm looking at him like, you wish. No, but that's what, we came up, we've been friends for a while, and we always
both
laugh
from Cleveland,
together,
Ohio.
Both from Cleveland, Ohio.
And we met in Los Angeles, and we just...
That's right. I'm single. He's married.
I'm with somebody. She's alone. And so,
oh, no. Don't cuss. You know I'm about to say that. Please. You're going to say, you shave?
I shave. So do you.
Wow. So I go to, of course, many comedy shows, and I've never witnessed anything like what you guys are going to be doing. Who came up with this concept?
I'd say it was a group effort.
Okay, let's go with this. Oh, look, that's us on stage.
Oh, look at us. Look at us. Oh, yeah. You were sure they would. Look at that. Oh, yes. And look at that. So crazy. Look at him. And we do, it is always something new and something different. And we want to give stand-up something different. Because you go to every stand-up show and there's one comic on stage all the time. So
when the audience interacts with it, we interact with them. So every show
is different.
Goes wherever. We never know where it's going to go.
We crack each other up.
And we really enjoy, and the thing about comedians is that we love the spotlight by ourselves. That's what we do. We get all the laughs, but to be able to share it with somebody, and we are so in sync, is like, we got to do this together.
So no one tries to pull that like Mariah Carey moment, slowly step in front of the other one?
Oh, I knocked him off the stage a couple times.
By accident, but
But we cracked each other up so much, and we take, at the end of the night, we take maybe 3 questions from the audience. And it can go anywhere.
And it just,
I can't even.
Oh,
it's a lot of fun.
And it's a lot of fun. That's
for couples, and it's just,
it's
it really is a lot of fun.
It's just something different, That's what we want to do instead of just stand up.
Well, how much does the show change from night to night? Like, because you say like it can go anywhere, but do you have like a set kind of material that
we
you
have
go
material
by?
in our sets that we do. I mean,
yeah, like I do my set, he does his set.
And then when we get together, we have stuff. It's just.
We have a couple
Well,
things.
you know what? I think we got a little taste. If it's anything like what y'all have done these past 25 minutes, it is going to be hilarious. So is this your first time, each of you, first time doing a show similar to this?
Yes, I've never.
we
never
been on stage. I used to be on stage with Buddy Lewis.
Right, they hosted at a comedy club.
I was hosting at a comedy
club.
But
on tour.
But on tour, no. David did say, let's go on tour. I argued for 7 years.
7 years.
He was like, oh, you waited 7 years. We could have been doing this. But I think God speaks to me when it's the right time.
Okay.
And when you're sober.
And when you have credits under your name. And you got more followers.
Kim does have a lot of followers. It's because of the picture she posts of.
Are you
no, I did not.
Are you one of those Instagram thoughts?
Thank you. That's what I want to say.
No, I'm going to be. I'm going to be.
She's going to be.
If I can get people to come to my show.
They'll come.
Right?
They will come.
Get those Instagram brands.
So, David, you've been on the scene for quite some time, since you were 7, and you kind of way
and he's
past
75
7.
now.
Way past
70 years, yes. I started in Cleveland. I was a child model.
Toddler.
And I did that, and then I started doing theater at the Caramel House, and then I came out to Los Angeles, started doing stand-up, and got into writing television. And so
That's when you were 20.
Look at you back then.
Look at all that.
Long hairline.
That's actually the night. That is actually the night that Kevin Hart brought me on stage, which got me my television deal that I have.
He has a deal with
Really?
Yeah, I have
Look
a
at
show.
your name dropping.
Well,
Oprah,
Kevin Hart.
I write Real Husbands of Hollywood on BET for Kevin. I wrote Kim's show, Razor Whitley. I'm one of the producers on her show. Show for Kelsey
But
Grammer,
since
Martin
then,
Lawrence.
Kelsey. But since then, Kevin Hart is giving him a show called Divorce Saved My Marriage. And finally, Debbie gets to be in front of the camera.
Doing my own show.
Wait, is that weird for you, or you just felt normal, right at
No,
home?
it's weird for me writing for other people and watching other people laugh at the stuff that I wrote, and then going up to somebody else going, "Oh, you're so funny," and I'm standing there going, "No, I'm funny." So now it's actually fun to get a chance to step out and do this. Yeah, to do my own thing. I'm
So
looking
Kim,
forward to it.
what actually got you into comedy? Because so many times we hear of comedians saying it's therapeutic, it's helping them in a mental capacity. Is that the reason why you got into comedy, or how did you fall into this?
Smoking weed. No, I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
Whatever
It's
gets
that
you.
show.
Whatever
Let's
gets you.
just keep talking about weed. We did it last week. We did. Let's keep
Whatever
doing
works.
it.
Hey, all righty then.
Summer school.
Summer school. You know what? Just coming from a funny family, moving out to Los Angeles, and everybody is like, especially when we came through, that everyone, to get a TV show, you got to be a stand-up comic. But other comedians would tell me, very famous comedians, are you, Eddie Murphy's, remember
Red Fox?
They were like, are you a stand-up? We need a funny woman. You got to be a funny woman. There's no funny women who are pretty, who are really out there doing it. And which I was like, huh? And funny is funny. I didn't know that there was this thing that, because once I started doing stand-up, I see what happens when you look a certain way. You want to hide that because you want people to focus on your funny, not on anything else. But I would just say, coming from a funny family and going on stage, not as much. I haven't put as many hours as he has. My hours have been basically with men, but all his stand-up hours, I've wasted my
That's
life.
why she's so exhausted.
Oh, Catalina! I'm not exhausted. My back is.
Oh, all right, yes.
Now we're cooking with fish grease.
Wow.
No, so I would just say that being a stand-up, and my favorite thing in life is to make people laugh.
Yeah, mine
to bring
too.
light to the world, and if I can turn someone's day around, if it's one people, if it's 1,000 people.
Speaking of turning somebody's life around, you adopted a child. So cool. So that you wrote the show that tracks kind of
Wrote on the
this.
show, yes.
Oh, okay, wrote on the show.
Yeah, but somebody
Participate-
cusses you out.
All the funny stuff that you see on the show,
all
Raising
you.
Whitley. Thank you very much.
Okay, so tell us about that. Like, that is so fun.
Oh, well, you know what? Joshua, my little baby, got him at 4 days old. I was mentoring a woman, and she left the baby at the hospital with my name. And I thought it was a joke. And the hospital called and said, we have your baby. And I literally was like, I didn't order a baby. I thought it was a comic calling me. And my mom and dad was there, and I guess, your parents can see where you are in life. And my mother was like, you don't have a man, you're 90 years old, and you ain't got no kids.
Will you bring me a grandbaby, she says.
And basically,
Yeah.
she was like, do something. And ironically, which is really crazy, after I got Joshua, 6 months later, my mother passed.
No way.
So that's why I'm
Speaking of
how
timing.
God
Yes,
timing.
works.
The
timing
It
always
was
works out.
that time. I got that baby. My mother stayed with me. They had never stayed in Los Angeles. My mom and dad stayed with me, helped me, showed me how to
So you got to have
take
those
care of
last
this
6
baby.
months with your mom?
Absolutely. And
And she got to be a grandmother.
Yep, and she got to be a grandmother.
And your
And I
dad
bet
is
she was
handsome.
so proud.
She was ground. She was very ground.
She was very great.
Very growl.
Look at her with the callback. With the comic. See that comic
She's
callback?
so good. So
growl.
good.
Yeah, so then we got a show and Oprah saw it, and matter of fact, Wendell James is here. He was with the Village, helping
Yes, with
me.
that beautiful hair.
Yeah, raising Joshua. But it did change my life. I got off
does.
the stripper pole. I got off.
Yeah.
Just truth just keeps popping out.
Popping out my mouth.
Wow.
It grounded me, and what having a child does, which I never thought of. You'll see this when it happens to you.
You'll see.
It makes you mark your life. I
yeah.
never knew how old I was. I never knew when time flew by.
Yeah.
But now that he's 6, I was like, oh my God, what have I done in 6 years?
Right.
Oh my God, I got to get him he's got to learn Mandarin. I've got to make sure.
Say Mandarin?
Yes, he's got to be a pilot. It puts all this pressure. And then me, oh my God, I got to get a new house. Oh my God, I need to get liposuction. Oh, I need to go to the gym. It's a lot of things that.
Not
the
get on,
normal stuff
not
that
get
you
on the
worry
treadmill.
about.
Vital,
Not get on
important.
the treadmill.
Not walks and
On the
stairs.
important
I need
stuff.
No,
liposuction.
that's too much work.
Well, Raising
way or the
Whitley,
other.
obviously, you can see Kim Whitley on there with her amazing son, the amazing journey and the village that it's taking to raise him. And then, of course, you can see Kim and David together this weekend. Thank you so much, you guys,
You're
for coming
welcome.
and
And
hanging
we
out
want
with us.
everybody
This
to
has
follow
been
us on our
crazy.
social media. It's very important to find out
Give
what
him a
we're
quick
doing.
plug. Give him the quick
Kim
plug.
Whitley, K-Y-M, W-H-I-T-L-E-Y, all social media across the board.
David A. Arnold. David A. Is an A missing in there, but it's David A. Arnold, and you catch me all across the board.
too,
As well.
please.
Come
There
out
you
to the
go.
show, guys. It's
Please.
a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Jacksonville
He
Comedy
said,
Club.
she said, tonight through Sunday at the Comedy Club of Jacksonville. For tickets and showtimes, get out of here. Visit jacksonvillecomedy.com. And coming up next, making a smooth transition back to school, Dr. Tracy Alloway shares tips when we come back. Get out of here.